G'day and welcome to the video tutorial on setting up GamParse and GamTextTriggers. I'm Phil, or in-game known as Gammon. I'm the author of GamParse and GamTextTriggers. In this video we will cover the initial setup. So we'll need to create a log file in game first, set the game to windowed mode if you wish to use any of the overlay features, and then logging back out of the game, we will then set the log file to always be active. From there, how to download and install the program, including how to set it up if you wish to use it against multiple characters, and set the programs to start automatically when you start Windows. And then from there, select the log file and then the first use of the programs. We'll start by opening the game, and in this one I've got a 720p version for the video. Once in game, what we'll need to do is create a log file. Once a log file exists, we can then make use of it for later steps. So for now, go into one of your command lines, log on. As you'll see over here, it now shows logging is on. Make sure something goes to the log file, so I will just do a who list. That means I've now got something in the log file. The other step that you may want to do is you may want to set the game to windowed mode. You may notice that I'm already in windowed mode. The option to do so is Options, Display, and switch to full screen or switch to windowed mode. In this case, I don't need to change it as I'm already there. Once I've got my log file created and I've got my game set to windowed mode, I can log back out of game and continue with the setup. To make it easier for both text triggers and for parsing, what you'll want is the log file to be on permanently. If you choose not to, you can continue to use the /log_on command every time you start the game, but there is a risk that you'll forget to do that from time to time and you'll miss triggers that may impact your gameplay, especially on raids with events that need the triggers followed. We want to go to the directory where the EQ settings are stored and manually change the file. So open up a Windows Explorer and hopefully you know the directory that your game is stored in. My game is stored in a custom area, so on the C drive in an EQ folder, EverQuest 720p, which I've set up for the video. In this directory you will find your EQ client.ini file. Only edit this file if you're comfortable with making changes to important files. When you open up the file, you may have the log statement already present. If not, you'll need to add it. In this case, I have log already set. I now need to change this to option of true and save the file, which will make it so that every time I start up, it will have logging enabled. If this line does not exist, then simply add it into the section under the heading here of defaults. We now have a log file and we also have logging enabled permanently. So now we need to install the program. For that, we will need to go to the website. Start up your favorite browser and go to gambosoft.com and the download page. You will have the ability to download the Microsoft.NET framework. This is needed for older computers. Windows Vista and Windows 7 come with it pre-installed. Windows XP will need this software. You may have this installed from other software that you've installed. So if you wish, you can try running the program, and if it fails, come back and load the software. If you are sure that you do not have .NET version 2, then install it following that link. The programs itself. You can download with an installer, which will do most of the work for you, or you can download the executable alone. The executable alone is the option that you would want to use if you were going to make multiple versions on your computer that point to different characters. As using an installer is second nature to most people, I will demonstrate the installation of the standalone. If you wish to use the installer, you do not need to follow this. I will download both packages. And they're now downloaded. I personally use 2 Windows Explorers when working across multiple directories. It's up to you which techniques you wish to use. I will go to my download folder, and for each of these I now have the program available. In my other window I will go to my EQ folder. You can see that I've already got some GamParse and GamTextTriggers folders. I'm going to create 2 more folders. One for GamParse, one for TextTriggers, both of them for this particular tutorial. So folder new, GamParse video, so I now have 2 folders created. Into the GamParse video, I want to take the GamParse executable from the zip file, and into the text triggers, I want to take the triggers executable and the DLL. I've now finished with my second folder. For each of these we'll want to create an icon. So right click and select Create Shortcut. You can name this how you like. For this one I'm going to name it as GamTextTriggers Video. Under Windows 7 and Windows Vista you'll want to set the programs to run in administrator mode. Right click, Properties, Compatibility, run this program as an administrator. That will make the program run as administrator every time. We'll now complete the same steps for the GamParse that I just created. And I now have my 2 icons created. I'll want those 2 icons to be run every time I start Windows so that I don't forget to run them myself. Under your Start menu, under All Programs, you will have a folder called Startup. At the moment you can see my current GamParse and GamTextTriggers already added there. I will now add my new versions. To do this, using the right button, right drag it onto the Start menu, into All Programs, and then down to your Startup. And inside the Startup. An option will come up when you let go where we want to copy here. If I now look, I have in my Startup my new icon. I'll repeat that for GamTextTriggers. Right drag, Start, All Programs, Startup, and add the program into there, copy. So I now have in my Startup both my new GamParse video and my new GamTextTriggers video icons that we've just created. These will now run at Startup each time you turn on your computer. For now I'm going to simply run the programs and we will do the settings. In GamParse you'll want to go to Options, Auto Monitor, which will make it so that every time you start GamParse it will automatically monitor the file selected. Enable it and go to the directory where your log file is in. In mine it is in 720p for this video. Logs, and there is my new log file that we created in the earlier step. Okay. You may also want to use the function to back up your log file every 100 meg. So each time the program starts, it will check the size of the log file. If it is greater than 100 meg, it will offer to make a backup. The backup will be stored in the directory called backup, which will be added to your logs directory. The file name will have the date included into the file name. GamParse can open up those previously backed up files quite successfully, so I will enable that. Now I will minimize that one and let's have a look at GamTextTriggers. It will automatically ask you for your log file. Again, I want to use my 720p directory that I've just created, in which I'll find my log file. And that will use that same log file until I change it to another. We've now enabled GamParse and GamTextTriggers to run on this computer, so every time that the computer starts up, it will monitor your log files automatically. So now you have the programs running automatically each time you start up the computer. You'll now want to move on to adjusting the settings within each program. For further details on those, consult the other videos within the series. Thank you for your time.